Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Molly, and if you're new here, I do book content here on YouTube, a mixture of Christian and non-Christian. And I am here today in a different place. My uncle lives with my grandma, and he's had to go away for work for a week, so I've come to stay. She doesn't need loads of help, but it's just an extra pair of hands, especially at night, just in case something happens. Not that anything ever usually does, but, just in case. So that's why it's a different setup. Currently on the floor of the bedroom I'm staying in. So please excuse mainly this area. This is the best I can do. So yes, let's just get straight in it, because I don't want to take too long, if I can. So today I am going to be doing the mid-year freak-out tag for 2025. I wrote the questions down, so I've got them when I find them. I'm way too far ahead there. There it is. So yeah, because I'm not at home, I can't necessarily show anything physically, so I'll do what I can to do the most accurate pictures of the books I have, certainly if that's necessary, like if it's a beautiful book. So, let's start. So, question 1 is, what is the best book you've read so far this year? And that's a good question. There's been quite a lot. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I've got quite a few favourites. Trying to think. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of books that are kind of equally the best. So there's The Princess Companion and The Princess Fugitive. There's The Cairo Curse. There's obviously the Anne of Green Gables series so far that I've read. The Murder of Roger Ackroyd definitely needs to be on one of my best books, because that twist was just insane. So definitely that one. Yeah, then there's Brave by Mishu Andrews. That's a biblical fiction about King David's first wife, Ahinoam. A lot of it's fictional because we don't really know anything about her in the Bible. But that's really good if you like your biblical fiction, and it's first in the series. Second comes out later this year. The Wager for non-fiction, that's really good. That's written like a narrative, so that's really good because it keeps you interested. I thought anyway. So yeah, that was really good. And Echo in the Darkness by Francine Rivers, but that's a sequel as well, actually. In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer, that's definitely a favourite too. So yeah, I've got quite a few favourites of the best books so far. The best sequel so far, now some of them will be repeats because some of the ones I said were actually technically sequels. So The Princess Fugitive, that is the second book in the fairy tale retelling series by Melanie Cellier. It's a clean fairy tale retelling series. That's definitely the best sequel so far, although I've only read 3 so far. And The Cairo Curse, which is book 2 in Pepper Basham's Freddie and Grace mystery series. Book 1 is also a favourite, but it's not from this year. Oh yeah, and Echo in the Darkness, that's because that's a sequel, that technically counts as well. And then Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins from the Hunger Games original trilogy. That's definitely a favourite sequel. I just read that. Well, we read that. Yeah, the rest are all just either book ones or they're standalones. So those are definitely my favourites as well for sequels. A new release that I haven't read but want to, so that means a book that has already released. And I'm not very good at keeping track of those. I do watch other people's ones, certainly the ones I'm following, but I never really write anything down, which in a way helps with saving money, but in a way doesn't help when it comes to remembering what I want. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't really think of any. I know there have been some, I just can't remember them. So I'll leave that for now. Question 4, most anticipated book for the second half of the year. So these are ones that haven't been released yet. So one of them I briefly touched on earlier, and that is the sequel to Brave by Mishu Andrews. That is a continuation of King David's Wives biblical fiction series that she started. I can't remember the name of the title, but when I put the picture up, you'll know the title, and so will I by then. So that's definitely an anticipated release. Also, oh, I do have one for new, well no, it wasn't released this year, it's alright. For a new release, actually I think it has released now, but the 4th Freddie and Grace book, a Highland something or other, it's when they go to Scotland. I'll put the picture up. That's definitely an anticipated release, but I can't remember if it's already released. So either it counts for anticipated, because it's not released yet, or it's a new release. One of those. Those are the only ones I can think of at the moment for anticipated releases. 5, my biggest disappointment. Kind of disappointed that I had to DNF Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert, because I do love Robin Hood, but I just didn't love that book. I know there's been other Robin Hood books, not just necessarily retellings, but I know there's other books written by other authors on Robin Hood, so maybe one of those is better. Don't know. When the Day Comes was a little bit of a disappointment for me, not because I gave it a bad rating. I gave it 4.5 stars. This is book 1 in the Timeless series, and I was a little disappointed because I thought I'd like it more. That's just me. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the book, other than people's personal preferences and how sensitive you are in terms of topics discussed in book 1. But yeah, I just couldn't gel with the main character Libby. I just found her annoying. So I'm a bit disappointed by that. I'm disappointed in the 2 books that I read in this month that I DNF'd. Well, last month actually, in June. And that was The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain, especially. I just couldn't get into it. I just found it really boring, which is a shame. So yeah, I think those are my biggest disappointments. Number 6, biggest surprise. I don't think there was any that were the biggest surprises. Just looking in my little reading journal at my books that I've read this year, and I don't think there's anything that's particularly surprised me. Yeah, I don't think so. Then the nearest is probably to do with the story, like twists. So like the murder of Roger Ackroyd, that was really surprising. But that's the nearest, and I don't know whether that really counts. Because I assume biggest surprise means, a book that you're surprised that you really liked or something. So yeah, that's the nearest I can think of for that question. 7, favourite new author, either a debut author or just new to you. And there's quite a few. I don't know if they're new authors or just new to me. Most of them will be new to me. But Melanie Cellier's books, she's a new favourite author. Agatha Christie, I don't know whether she's favourite author yet. I would say she is. I wouldn't say that she isn't either a favourite author, so I'll put Agatha Christie as well. Mishu Andrews, because I read Brave this year, so she's a new favourite author, because I actually pre-ordered her sequel, which I don't normally do. So, it's a good book or author / series if you do things like that. Gabrielle Meyer, I would say she's definitely up there as a favourite author, even though I didn't like book 1, book 2 was 5-star. Loved that one, so I'll put her on. Yeah, I would say that's about it, because the other authors that are favourites are not new to me. So, yeah. 8. Newest fictional crush. And it just varies. I have several, technically, I guess, mainly because I really like the male main characters in the books. But the newest one that I've read recently is the male main character in Frederica by Georgia O'Hare. The main love interest, well, eventually love interest, because it's not really slow burn, but kind of. He's definitely a fictional crush. He's Lord Alverstoke, but I can't remember his first name. So I'll definitely say him. 9. Newest favourite character. Again, they're all my favourite characters for the time that I read the books, I guess. I really like Frederica from Frederica. Valency from the Blue Castle by Ellen Montgomery. Okay. Hey guys, sorry I'm back. If this has changed a little bit, it's because I had to pause and come back. It's not quite a bit later. But let's get back to the questions. So, where did we get up to? Oh yes, I last talked about my newest favourite characters. And yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you would count January new, but Fred and Grace are definitely favourite characters, for certain. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else. I mean, I always enjoy the characters when I'm reading them in the books, so I guess I'm regularly having favourite characters, but they're certainly the ones that stand out. So, question 10 is a book that made you cry, and I'm going to just tell you now, most books make me cry for one reason or another, because I'm happy, because I'm sad, or because I get angry at something, so I get emotional and start crying or tearing up because of that. There's a lot of different reasons. So yeah, but I guess the last one that technically made me cry was The Staircase in the Woods, but I wouldn't really count that. It made me tear up because of certain things that would happen to characters. But otherwise, Catching Fire is definitely the one that last made me cry properly anyway. Well, kind of properly. 11, book that made you happy, and I'm going to have to say the most recent one was Frederica. Otherwise, I think a lot of books make me happy, or partly make me happy because of what's going on. So I guess most of the books I read make me happy. But the most recent one was Frederica. And yeah. Otherwise, maybe The Blue Castle. I may be happy. Maybe in this moment, but maybe not, to be honest. Depending on what's happening. But I guess I was happy. I mean, I wasn't not happy at times. I'm not sure. But certainly Frederica and, The Blue Castle. But yeah, a lot of the books make me happy. It just depends on the genre as well. You know, things like thrillers and stuff like that aren't necessarily happy. Question 12 is most beautiful book that you have bought or have been given so far this year. And again, it's a lot of books that aren't always particular ones. Sometimes they're beautiful for different reasons. So let me think. The Princess Companion, that's a beautiful cover. Although that's technically not bought, but I did buy Kindle Unlimited, so I pay monthly for it, so I guess that does sort of count. The Anne of Green Gables series that I have, my particular version anyway, but also a lot of the other versions are really pretty as well. Definitely that one. Let's see. Brave by Misha Andrews. That's a beautiful cover because of all the blue and it just really stands out. The Timeless series books are beautiful in a way. I like how they've been layered and the colours and and little bits of outfits that you see. The Hunger Games series that I've got, those are quite beautiful. Simple again, but the hardcover versions that I have are shiny. They're just gorgeous to look at, so they're beautiful in their own way. Then, of course, my most recent one is the Blue Castle. And most of these I have bought myself. My birthday is later on in the year, it's October, and then obviously there's Christmas. So most of these are ones I have bought myself that I've read, or they're like Kindle Limited, like The Princess Companion. So yeah, so far there hasn't been any that I've been given. Yeah. One that's also not, well, it's beautiful, but in a more atmospheric way, and that is the cover for The Staircase in the Woods, which I technically didn't buy. It's a library book, but that's a gorgeous cover. I'll show that one as well. But yeah, my version of the Blue Castle that I bought from Amazon, that's a beautiful cover, and that's definitely a most recent one that I bought. Well, actually not the most recent one. The Hunger Games hardbacks that I got are my most recent ones. So yeah. Question 13, which is the last question, is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And, well, just any and as many books as I can get to. One book I do want to read that I have been reading since last year is the Brothers Grimm original folktale collections, which I'll put a picture up here. I'll try and do the cover that I've got myself, but if not, either way, it's the Grimm's collection. I definitely want to finish that this year if I can. I have started more actively reading the short stories each day. I usually try to read twice a day, one in like the morning, one at night, like a bedtime story type of thing. So I would like to finish that. Otherwise, I've got nothing else on the go that I don't think I need to mention, really. Because I am reading a non-fiction, but I'm not really counting that, because even though I'm reading them more slower, it's not. I guess I'll count it. I'm reading a book called How to Talk About Jesus Without Looking Like an Idiot. That's by, I can't remember his name, Andy Bannister. He's a British Christian author, and that's really good. It's really funny as well. Lots of British humour, which, being a Brit, I can get along with that. So that's really good. I do want to finish that, but it's not like an urgent thing. The main one really is The Brothers Grimm, but I am reading the short story collection at the moment. I'm planning to finish that this month, so I'm not really counting that. But there's also Mere Christianity, which I'm reading with Lucy from the Lucy Chronicles. Not that I'm necessarily bothered if we don't finish it this year, but I mean, that is one we're buddy reading, so we do want to, finish that at some point. But yeah, other than that, they're the only ones that I'm reading on the slower end of things, and yeah, that's about it really. Yeah, I think that's about it for the books I want to finish this year. So yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, if I don't finish them, I'm not gonna get angry at myself or beat myself up about things. Like, it's not important. I'll finish it this year or I won't. It's basically my answer to that. So that is all the questions that are usually given, as far as I know, for the mid-year free cap tag for books. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you can hear me okay. Try not to be too loud, because Grandma doesn't know I film. So, most of my family, well, no, about half my family knows. Well, kind of. A third? 2/3? No, not 2/3. My siblings know about it, but no one else does. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your answers are to these questions. I'll leave them down below. You can either answer in the comments, or if you want to or already do film on YouTube, please do your version as well if you like. That'd be cool. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and next week we'll be back to my usual background of my own bedroom at home. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. God bless. Bye.